not impossible. Keep going, Ray.
But it seems the companies don't get to a size where they can do anything. They get snapped up very young, and the businesses are shut down, and the kids are dumped into cubicles for the next 4 years. So it's probably a great story. I mean, all of them, pretty much, Instagram was bought for the business, but out of all the last 200 acquisitions those companies have made, they get shut down.
You can start revolutions without any resource.
Well,
Here in
that's
Africa,
true.
the smartphone has access to more knowledge and innovative power than the President of the United States did 15 years ago. Google was started by a couple of kids with their notebook computers for the late night dorm room challenge. It's kind of a cool idea of working links on the internet. Facebook was started for $19,000 on a few notebook computers. 14-year-old kid recently came up with a effective and successful early test for pancreatic cancer. And there's a long, long list. The tools of constructive change, innovation are in everybody's hands. Silicon Valley is really a symbol around the world. As I go around the world and say, oh, well, Toronto is the Silicon Valley of Canada, and Dublin's the Silicon Valley of Western Europe. But this is the Silicon Valley of the world.
So shouldn't Silicon Valley look better to the world? Shouldn't its schools be really good? Shouldn't its infrastructure be? Shouldn't the gigabits of everything? It should be a showcase of the future.
It looks pretty damn good to most people. I travel all over the world.
The public schools are broken.
Everybody I meet
There's a ghetto in the middle of Palo Alto.
Yeah,
East Palo
Valley
Alto.
has an Asperger's culture, right, where we excel at a lot of things that are important to us, and there are other things that are just not, they should be. Let's just admit in a perfect society, we go do that. But, if you go to India, you're stepping over thousands of people to get to your 5-star hotel. And so there are other extremes in other societies. You go to Finland, and it's the world's best educational institutions ever. I mean, you'd want to raise your kids in Finland. The problem is their government-run entrepreneurship program, TECHIS, employs more people than they actually started in companies. And so you make these trade-offs, and I'm not suggesting they're right, but they are worth observing that they're trade-offs. And we have become the innovation engine, as Ray said.
It wouldn't take much to make Silicon Valley a little bit better than it is.
Great, what are you doing about it?
I'm talking to you guys about it. I'm trying to get people interested.
We're doing the other side.
Our schools are basket cases. They should be showcases, right?
So
if we talk about education,
there's a lot of innovation in Silicon Valley in school systems. You know about Summit, charter schools, etc. Those are institutional problems that are more than just technology problems. We do a great job in making things where consumers want to adopt. Changing school systems actually have a lot of players.
I've got a bunch of ideas for that.
Sign up.
There's going to be a revolution in education. And like most revolutions, it's not going to come from within the system. You can see it already. We see the same objection to online education that we showed at eBooks 5 years ago when I started an ebook company. And, there's not much material. Most of the books aren't available. The reading experience isn't good. All those problems are solved. Most books now being sold are ebooks. Same thing's going to happen in higher education. The business model is broken. And this new model, which is a radically different business model, is going to take over.
But it's not the education you get, it's the clique you get to live with, right? That becomes a connection. It's not the education.
I think what happened,
Harvard is Harvard, Stanford is Stanford.
I think the point is the innovation. I think there is a number of factors that create innovation in the Valley, which is very unique. And I think as Ray was pointing out, I travel around the world as well, and you hear, actually even in the United States, many people try to emulate the model here, right? In New York and Boston, and with reasonable level of success now more recently. I think the point is when we create innovation here, it has global reach. I think Google has an impact around the world. Cisco now has an impact around the world, and that actually creates, it's a viral, in a way, a viral passion for innovation, and we'll fund startups in other countries, and they create value for this. I think what is happening with technology changing so quickly is actually changing the landscape of innovation, making it much more democratized, and I think that will impact education, healthcare. Actually, the reason I was late is that another company looking at a bunch of startups. There were 40 different startups that are all in the healthcare space, looking from the outside in how to change the healthcare system. And so the same thing is happening in education. Some of these fields that haven't been disrupted for a long time are going to get disrupted with innovation. And I think there is something here in the Valley that creates that magic that's hard to replicate.
Yeah, you can export the idea of building a business park around a university, but you can't export the culture here.
Yeah,
And that's why companies still keep coming here from all over the world to send their people here.
Yeah, I mean, even companies that start, like Facebook started in Boston, moved here to be, I mean, we see that too, right?
Yeah.
But companies that grow here then reach out to the other parts of the world, so it sort of pays back.
Yeah.
That being said, Silicon Valley has become a worldwide metaphor.
Yeah.
It's something that people all around the world aspire to.
It's like Hollywood. They moved to Canada years ago, but they're still associated with
It's still Hollywood.
Ray, I want to ask about solar power. You famously predicted that in 20 years, all the Earth's energy could be supplied by solar energy. Do you still stand by that prediction, and what obstacles are there?
Well, yes. I mean, it's more of an existence proof because there are other exponentially improving technologies that can do the same thing. But solar has and continues to double in total capacity every 2 years. It's less than 7 doublings from 100%. So people dismiss it, oh, it's 1 to 2%, kind of a nice thing to do, but it's a fringe player, ignoring the exponential growth, just like they dismissed the General project only 10%. There's only 7 doublings in 7 years from being completed, or since the internet when it's 1% of users. Deutsche Bank recently reported that solar energy in major areas of India and China has actually reached parity without subsidies, and that areas are going to expand very rapidly. Because the costs are coming down, we're applying exponentially improving technology with solar panels, energy storage. I've talked to people that lead the sovereign funds for the oil-rich countries, and they fully understand this. They expect oil to be to lose its value within 20 years. And if you look at their investment strategies, they're appropriate for diversifying for that reason. I wrote about this in Singularity. Peter Diamandis, his book Abundance, talks about this. We are running out of resources if we limit ourselves to 19th century post-industrial technologies like fossil fuels. Similar story on water. There's new food production revolutions coming with vertical agriculture. There's new three-dimensional printing to provide physical things, including housing. Project at Singularity University is three-dimensional printing that can got modules, snap the house together. And so, I mean, we have actually plenty of resources with these new emerging technologies, which are exponential in nature and very different from non-information-based technologies, which progress simultaneously.
Can you comment on President Obama's landmark speech yesterday on climate change?
Well, I'm not a fan of fossil fuels. I think I would actually not put carbon dioxide at the top of the list of reasons why. The Gulf oil spill really put a lot of poison in the oceans. Had nothing to do with global warming. It's also centralized technology, which is politically destabilizing and subject to catastrophic disruption. Solar energy, for example, is decentralized. These new technologies are decentralized. We came into water machinery, slingshot is decentralized, so you can't disrupt it. Just as it's very hard to disrupt the internet because it's decentralized. If these technologies progress in a linear manner, then it would take a really long time to progress into alternative means, and I'd be concerned too about running out of the type of easily accessible fossil fuels we're using now, and the environmental effects. But these new technologies are going to be here very soon, much less than 20 years. Within 10 years, it's revolutionary. Really change the nature of energy and these other resources. So I think just talking about climate change is a simplistic way to look at it, but I do support the idea of moving away from fossil fuels.
Okay, sorry, we have time probably for one more question.
Which of you will be wearing Google glasses a year from now?
I'm actually not the earliest adopter of technologies. I think Google Glasses is a cool technology. It's a very solid version 1. But if you look at most revolutions, personal computers, cell phones, version 1 does not take over the world. Version 3 like Windows version 3. That's what Microsoft does.